If you look at data about salaries for software engineering across different countries and different cities, you will notice that salaries for US engineers are across the board much higher than in pretty much any other country, even compared to salaries in other developed countries like the UK, Germany, France, and other European countries. So I made a video before discussing the reasons for why US salaries seem to be so much higher than European salaries specifically. But a question that I did not cover in that video is, are US software engineers really richer than European software engineers? Because obviously the gross salary that we're looking at is not the only thing that matters. You also need to look at cost of living, you need to look at taxes, you need to look at what you're getting for that money. So in this video, I wanted to dive deeper into that question specifically and run the numbers for the average salary for different US cities and different European cities and look at what is actually the reality in terms of what you actually left off after your taxes and expenses in these different countries. And by the way, that previous video seems to have triggered a lot of Europeans. So I want to say again that my purpose in this video or in that previous video is not to say anything about which of these places is better to live, because that depends on you. If you really want my opinion, I don't think either of these places is that great to live. I have lived in Europe before, don't want to go back, and also certainly don't want to move to the US. But that is a topic for another video. So today we are solely focusing on the finances of what the average software engineer might be expected to have across these different cities where I've sort of run the numbers for. But of course, the actual expenses will vary wildly based on your lifestyle, your preferences, the company you work for, the specific deal you have negotiated with your company, whether you are single or married, whether you have kids or whether you don't have kids. But I've done my best to sort of compare equivalent lifestyle across these different regions to tell you where you would actually be able to save the most money. So before we go into the comparisons, the methodology that I've used here is that our goal is to be able to estimate the net disposable income for the average salary, taking into account taxes, rent, food, transport, student loan costs, and things like this. And we want to see that after all of these sort of necessary expenses, how much would you have left off to either save or spend on whatever lifestyle you want to spend it on. For the salary data, we have used levels.io, which appears to be the most comprehensive website to find salary data across regions. We will assume you're single. We will assume you're renting the average one-bedroom apartment. And for a lot of the data for the prices, we will use a website called numbeo.com. That seems to be the website that a lot of people use to sort of compare prices across different regions. Maybe it's not 100% accurate, but it's the best one we've got. Now, food costs can be difficult to estimate, but I've sort of used my spending that I had in London while I was living there myself as a sort of an anchor. And then I've used data from Numbeo to code up this application where I can essentially calculate, based on a basket of different prices, what would be the spending on food in different cities with the same ratio of spending on groceries and restaurants. For the US, for most of these cities, we will assume that you need a car, and we will assume you have the average car payment. And in the cities where you don't need a car, which is most European cities and a couple of US cities, we will assume you have a monthly ticket for the public transport in that city. For healthcare, I have not included it in the EU because you will get it from the government. And in the US, I have also not included it because, as we can see here, in almost every company, your employer will give you free healthcare as part of your job. So you're not going to have to pay for it. For student loans, we can see here that the average student loan payment in the US is $280 a month, but I've assumed it's a bit higher because it's a computer science degree. So I've used the figure of $400 a month for the student loan payment. And in London, I've calculated the exact amount, and like other European cities, I've assumed that it's zero because you probably don't have a student loan. So now on to specific city comparisons. And of course, this is just a selection of cities that I've looked at and run these numbers for. If you want to dive deeper and look at your cities and compare to some US cities or whatever, you can use the same methodology to calculate these numbers. But this is just what we've got here. So starting off, we have San Francisco versus London. So we've sort of taken the top city for tech in the US and probably the top city in Europe for tech as well. The average salary we can see in San Francisco is $255,000 a year, whereas in London, it is $119.981 thousand. Using some official tax calculators from both of these countries, in San Francisco, you would spend this much on taxes, which comes out to 38% of your salary. And in London, you would spend this much on taxes, which comes out to 30% of your salary. On rent, we have assumed the average one-bedroom apartment, which in London per year would cost $34,384 $5. And by the way, we're using US dollars for all of these figures. I've just converted all the figures from non-US countries. And in San Francisco, for monthly rent of around $3,000, we get $37,020 per year. Now we're using $1,000 a month in London as the sort of anchor for all of the figures across these cities. If your food spending is more or less than that, you could just basically adjust these numbers for that. But in London, so in London, we get $12,000 a year. And in San Francisco, using this calculator that I coded up, for the equivalent consumption of food, you would get $16,655 a year. In San Francisco, we will assume you need a car because it's a pretty car-centric city. And with the average car payment, you'd spend $8,820 a year. Whereas in London, we will assume you have the monthly pass for the London Underground, which is apparently $266.45 a month. Times 12, we get $3,197 a year. For the student loan, with the average student loan in the US, you would be paying 4.8K a year, whereas in London, you would pay $7.5 to $5,000 a year with the student loan repayment plan in the UK. So after all of this, in San Francisco, on this average salary, you would be saving, or rather you would have a disposable income of around $90,000, whereas in London, the equivalent figure would be $26,500 a year. So in the top city in the US compared to the top city in Europe, you would save significantly more in the US, at least according to these numbers. And by the way, if I'm missing out on something major, do let me know in the comments, which I am sure you will anyway. Now we'll look at some different cities. So let's say you're not in the top mecca of tech in the US or in Europe. Let's say you're in Boston in the US, which is still a good tech city, but not like the top city. And in Europe, we'll assume you're in Berlin, which is also a good tech city in Europe, but not like the top or anything like that. In Boston, the average salary is $162,000 a year. In Berlin, it is $92,956 a year. Boston, you would spend around $45,000 a year in taxes. In Berlin, you would spend around $30,653 in taxes. On rent, you would spend $16,000 a year in Berlin, and in Boston, it's more than double that, $37,673 a year. In food, using again that $1,000 a month in London as an anchor, you'd spend 9.9K in Berlin and 15.5K in Boston. So again, significantly more. For car payment, I've looked online and it seems like Boston is not the kind of city where you would need a car. So I've assumed you have the public transport monthly ticket there, which would come out to around 1K a year. And in Berlin, the equivalent monthly public transport ticket would come out to $657 a year of spending. In Boston, we will assume, again, you have the average student loan payment, 4.8K a year. In Berlin, we will assume you do not have a student loan payment, which gives us a figure of $0. And in net savings, you're saving 53.9K in Boston and 35.5K in Berlin. So even though the salary is around 70K more in Boston, you're only saving like 20K, give or take, more in Boston. So still more, so you're still richer, but not by nearly as much as it would seem from this gross salary. By the way, if you're interested in more analysis like this about the tech industry, about salaries, about things that are happening that are relevant for you as a programmer, as a software engineer, as someone learning to code, then I actually have a completely free newsletter that you can sign up to in the first link down below in the description. I send you one weekly email, again, for completely free. At least for now, you're getting access to all of my Notion templates that have helped me learn to code and become a software engineer. So sign up to it down below. And with that, let's continue with the video. Now, let's say you're not even in a real tech city in either of these places. So just pick a random US city of Orlando, and I've picked Paris from the EU. In Orlando, the average salary for software engineers is $107.8 thousand. In Paris, it is $65,000 a year. On taxes in Orlando, you would spend 24K. In Paris, 17.4K. On rent, you would spend 17.8K in Paris and 23.2K in Orlando. On food, you would spend 13.8K in Orlando, 14.1K in Paris. For a car, you would spend the same 8.825K a year in Orlando, because we're assuming the average car payment. In Paris, you would have the monthly public transport ticket, which would give you a spending of 1.158K a year. On a student loan, you would spend the same 4.8K in Orlando and 0 in Paris, giving you net savings of $32,870 in Orlando and $14,309 in Paris. So again, it is more in Orlando compared to Paris. So again, the US engineer would at the end of the day be richer than the European engineer. Again, whether that means your quality of life is higher or anything like that, I'm not making any comment about, because that depends on you and what you like. But as I mentioned in my previous video, there is one European country where you do actually get salaries that are very close or even higher than the US salaries, and that is Switzerland. So as a final comparison, let's take Zurich, Switzerland, which is the top tech city in Switzerland, and compare the situation there to another very good US tech city of Austin, Texas, and see what the situation is here. So the average salary in Austin is $172,500. In Zurich, it is $167,782 a year. So a very similar salary this time. Let's look at taxes. It's actually very similar. $42,900 in Austin and $45,600 in Zurich. On rent in Switzerland is notoriously expensive. You would be spending more than $30,000 a year, which is pretty much at US levels. And you spend $26,700 in Austin. On food, in Austin, you would spend $11,600, and in Zurich, we have the highest figure so far by far of $26,700 a year. Food in Switzerland, as someone who has been there many times, it's very expensive. On a car, again, in Austin, you would spend the same amount, $8,820 a year. Austin, definitely a place where you need a car. In Zurich, you definitely don't need a car, especially if you live in the city. You'd spend around $1,228 a year on public transport, assuming you have the average public transport monthly ticket. On a student loan in Austin, you would spend the same amount, 4.8K. In Zurich, you would spend zero, leaving us net savings of $76,600 in Austin and $63,435 in Zurich. Again, maybe there's something I'm missing out on here. I think in Switzerland, you may have to pay for health insurance and things like this. But if you just take these numbers together, you can see that the savings you have are higher in every US city that we've covered here, apart from Orlando, which is like really not a tech city, than all of the European cities we looked at apart from Switzerland. At least according to this data, it seems like US engineers most of the time are certainly richer if you're looking at equivalent lifestyle. But of course, if you're in the US and you fall into lifestyle inflation, which is something that happens there a lot, then of course that's not going to be the case. You always have the responsibility to make sure you're not wasting your money. But generally across the board, if you want to make the most money in tech, you probably want to be in the US. But if you want a more chill life, you want to enjoy more vacations, you want like work-life balance and all that, then you probably want to be in EU, because yes, you do work more in the US. Although from what I know, in terms of tech, like you don't necessarily work that much more in the US from the people that I've spoken to. But I guess in general, that is the sort of trade-off you're making there. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure you will do that anyway. If you're now wondering why is it that US tech salaries are so much higher, I did a lot of research on this topic and I made a video on it, which you can watch right here. So if you're interested, watch that video next to understand why this is the case. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.